going wild with it. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on Zoom with me, Tina. That's cool. Not a lot of people will jump on the Zoom with me, so that's always fun. And if you have questions, you can drop them in the Facebook group. Honest to goodness, sometimes I see questions show up, sometimes I don't. And if I don't see them, I promise I will follow up afterwards with you, and we will definitely get this going. All right, so the first thing is, since y'all are on this call tonight, you need to do me a favor. The favor is that you should remind me this week to introduce myself. I noticed in the last one we did, probably the last day, all of a sudden I went, wow, I never even introduced myself. So for those of you who know me, hey, I'm Kelly. If you don't know me, I'm Kelly Howard, and this is, well, let me tell you a little bit about my backstory so you just know who I am. For years and years and years, I've done all kinds of activities for mostly women that are fitness related. And when I say fitness related, they're more like adventure related. So taking people kayaking and teaching people to hike and backpack and just all the outdoor stuff. Like that's my thing, is I love the outdoor stuff. And so, and I actually had a company that did that. I sold that company about 2 years ago because I wanted to get really, really involved in just working with people one-on-one, women one-on-one, who wanted to be super active, had probably been super active before, and some things were holding them back. Usually what holds us back is either not knowing what to do, injuries, or just not feeling our best, right? Just not feeling like spot on, and also not being consistent with exercise. So that's like where I came into this. But what I noticed is I have this group, it's called the Inner Circle, and it's a group of women that I've been working with pretty much for a full year now, I think. And when I was asking them what they wanted to look at next, like what are we working on next? What I just kind of tossed out sugar. Like I tossed it out because it had become a thing for me over this last year with the whole lockdown and COVID and stuff like that. I mean, up until March of last year, this was something that I had figured out really well. And I had actually, when the whole lockdown in Houston started, which is where I am, I had done a 90-day sugar-free, alcohol-free, program. I just did it for myself because it was what I wanted to do. And I had just finished that. COVID lockdown started in Texas, and I was like, I think I'm gonna have a glass of wine. Like, I mean, honest to goodness, like that may not sound like the best thing a guru should say, but it's the truth. So I said that, and then this whole year it's been kind of like, I just didn't have it in me to really get like serious for another 90 days or half a year or whatever. And so when I asked the ladies in the group, what do you want to do? They were all like, we got to deal with the sugar. I mean, everybody had put on weight. Everybody was not sleeping. They were feeling bad. They were like stressed. And it was just all the stuff that sugar does to you. Joints aching. It's just, it's just what sugar does. And I'm not against sugar. Okay. Like I'm just going to flat out say it. I think that there is a place in our life for us being on what I would call maintenance. And maintenance is when you have what you want when you want it, but you're not doing it all the time. Okay. Like we know that, like, if what we're doing is every day sitting at the office chowing down on candies or whatever, we know that's not really what we want. So there's a place for maintenance, and there's a place for enjoying whatever it is that you want to enjoy. But a lot of times what we really need to do is break that cycle first. And once we break the cycle, then we can make the decision to do whatever it is that we want to do and how we want to do it. So generally speaking, I will say that most people who do this with me, they'll do the week, right? And the week is awesome. And some people continue on in the next 30 days. After the next 30 days, about half the people continue for another 30 days because you start feeling so good. and you start sleeping so well, and just, things fall into place, not hurting. So that is why I did the sugar-free program, how I got into it, what my background is, and if I didn't say it, my name's Kelly, and Kelly Howard, and thank you all for being here because I know that a lot of people in the group this time do not know me. Like, sometimes people in the group will come from my other programs, but this group, as far as I can tell, it's a whole bunch of new people. Y'all are brilliant. So tonight I have no agenda, okay? I just wanted to jump in because I was starting to get a lot of emails and questions via email, some, messages on Facebook, and just FYI, I am not the greatest on Facebook Messenger, okay? I usually check it twice a day. Email, I check it a little bit more. So if you need me, start with email and then throw your name out in the group and you can message me too. You can't like reach out too much. I don't care. I want you to feel supported, okay? The other thing is that with all these questions that I started getting, most of them were around what's the schedule? What's it going to look like? How are we going to do this? Since y'all are here, you're the ones that are going to hear it first. Basically, what I do is I walk you through a super abridged program, okay? And give you the foundation of what you need to actually go from a week, 5 days to a week, to a 30-day program. The reason is that it really takes about 2 solid weeks, like 2 solid weeks to start seeing all the changes that you want to see, like to start feeling the difference. 30 days is when you really start seeing like if you want to lose the weight in the stomach, that kind of stuff, that you're going to start seeing that in about 30 days. So I don't want you to think that, at the end of a week, we're going to all be, I don't know, skinny and whatever, sleeping like babies, but we're going to have the foundation to do what we need to do. Okay. So does that explain, if anyone's on right now who actually asked that question, hey, Heidi, I see that you're on. Thanks for being here. If anyone was asking me about those kinds of questions about, what we're going to do, drop them in because I am here. What I will do is I'll stay here probably, I don't know. Okay, you got another job. Not only do you have to remind me to introduce myself, you have to remind me to be quiet after a while because I get super excited. I will talk all day about this stuff. Like if somebody wants to ask me questions, I am here. So my job is really to wrap it up so y'all don't, aren't getting bored with me and bored with the whole program because more than anything, I want you to be excited about this. A couple of people had said that to me that they're a little worried that they've tried this before and it hasn't worked. You'll hear me say this tomorrow, but I'll just tell you really quickly. The first time I did it, and this is embarrassing, okay? Like I know what to do, right? Like I've been teaching people how to get active forever. I know all the tricks. But the first time I did no sugar for 30 days, I just thought, well, I'm just going to do it, right? I'm just going to use willpower. And I know willpower sucks. Like it really does. It doesn't work that great. And I'm just going to white knuckle my way through this one. And I've got it. It was hard. Okay. It was hard. That first 30 days was kind of like, that was no fun whatsoever. I'm ready for this to be over. And about 2 weeks later, I was sitting there and I was just thinking about it because I thought, I felt good. I was sleeping better. Like all the good things were happening, but I was stressing because just going cold turkey without really thinking about it and doing the tools, using the tools, threw me off. And I went, well, Kel, you didn't use any of the tools that you know how to use. I didn't use any of the tools that I teach people. It was just kind of like, so yeah, the next time I did it, I went, okay, let's do this in a systematic, thoughtful manner. Like, and I'm talking to myself because at this time I'm still using myself as a guinea pig. Okay. Let's Kelly and Kelly do this in a smart way, right? Let's use the tools that I know how to use. And that second time was a lot better, like a whole lot better. And then I thought, okay, well, I need to learn about maintenance because it's just like exercise, right? If you do the same thing again and again and again and again and again, you're going to get bored and you're going to quit doing it. So I figured, okay, we need to add some maintenance to this. And so onward and onward and onward until it became an easy thing. And that's when I realized that it's like Heidi just said, it seems impossible, right? To go sugar-free for 30 days. And it does, okay? But what we do is we figure out how to take it out in smart steps, because a lot of the sugar in our diet is hidden sugar, right? It's not sugar that we even notice. Like, it's not like when I'm in maintenance, I'll put about a fourth of a teaspoon of sugar in my coffee. Okay, my second cup of coffee in the morning, because I'm kind of doing this intermittent eating right now. So first cup of coffee, no calories. Second cup of coffee later in the day, I might have that. So I know that sugar's there, right? But what I didn't realize, and this is what really like surprised me, because like this is what I do. I'm quite frankly, I'm pretty smart at this stuff. For years, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't get a lot of protein. So for years, I was always out looking for protein, right? Like, how am I going to get protein in my diet? How am I going to get protein before I go work out or when I finish working out in the morning, all that stuff. So I was eating these protein bars, 20 grams of protein, boom, right? That's all I needed. And then one day when I started thinking about it, I actually looked at something more than just the protein. And when I started reading labels, I realized that I was also eating 18 grams of sugar a day. That's a lot. That's a lot. And that was what I didn't even see. I hadn't even thought about it. So I just started looking more and more and more and realizing that there's a lot of sugar in our diets that we don't realize in weird, strange places. And you will, by the end of this week, I promise, you're going to get a little obsessed with labels, because if it has a label, we need to be careful about it. And I'll go into this later, but basically my thought is that if it doesn't have a label, then it's probably a vegetable, a fruit, a meat, one of the things from the perimeter of the store. And so those things are usually pretty good. I mean, I suggest that people don't eat a lot of fruit. And we'll talk about that later, but a lot is quantitative. Okay. But if you think about it, you're going to start looking at labels in a different way. The other thing is that what also happens is that if people will stop sugar, then sometimes we then begin eating junk food, Fritos, Cheetos, whatever they are, the potato chips, I don't care, whatever it is. And that is something that we're not going to do either. So I promise, though, it's going to be easy. All right. It will be easy. It's not going to be easy every day, but it's going to be so much easier than you think. Okay. Questions. So basically, I'm just going to let you know every day we'll have a live at 11:30 Central Time. And then again, I'll do a live at 6 p.m. Central Time. That 6 p.m. live is a Q&A, but I will also go back over all the training for anyone who missed it that morning. Okay. I realize that not everybody can spend all day sitting on Zoom. So we will have it, right? It is true. I mean, it'll drive you crazy. But so we'll do one at 11:30. We'll do one at 6, and that's Monday through Thursday. Friday, I'll do something at 3 p.m. And that's kind of like, to put those two times together best I can. And then next weekend, I'll be around all weekend, kind of on and off. So, but I want to be here to answer questions. Okay. So, and usually what happens is questions are pretty quiet at first, and then, it goes crazy in the group. I do have some people in the group who have gone through this before with me once or twice, and they will probably be in there throwing their ideas out and what they've learned, which is great. Like my last group was extraordinary at food with labels. I guess that's the best way I can put it. I mean, there was a lot of questions about food with labels, and they figured things out, like Hoisin sauce. I said, I don't think you can find sugar-free hoisin sauce that is, that doesn't have all the bad stuff in it. Well, they did. So they found the right foods. So they'll be in there, and they'll be in there helping us too. All right, I'm going to stop for a second. Since Tina is on the Zoom, Tina, if you've got something you want to drop in the chat, if you have any questions, I'm going to ask if anyone who's on the live, if you have any questions, let me know. And if you don't, it's okay. Like, you don't have to have questions today. But I also just want to make sure that that if you do, I'm here for you, because I purposely did my hair for this call. So let me know if I could do something for you. All right. So I don't see any questions. So then let me just give you a couple of other things, couple of other thoughts before we jump off. One thought is that if you're here, you're in the right place. Like, a lot of times people will say, well, I don't know if I really want to do this. I don't know if this is a good time. It's never a good time. Trust me, this is never a good time to do this. So we just work around it. Okay. And I'm just going to say this real quick. I'll throw it out there that if it's let's say that you've got, I don't know, something next Friday evening, and you were going to do 7 days, and you know that this thing next Friday evening involves dessert, or it involves drinking wine, or it involves whatever, right? Don't not do this because of that, because it's super important to have a comeback strategy too. And I usually don't talk about this immediately, because people are like, well, do you think we're not going to be able to do it? I absolutely know you're going to be able to do it. But I also know that we're going to have a comeback strategy. And that comeback strategy means that when you've had the dessert, or you've had the wine, or you've had the cookies at work, or whatever it is, then it's okay. Like, so what? So what? All right. And let's just get back and come back and figure it out right. Okay. Because if we're hitting 80 to 90% of what we say we're going to do, like when I say that, like if we're hitting 80 to 90% of whatever it is that you want, and this, in my world, this involves exercise too. Like, I'm not someone who believes that if you miss a workout, wow, how could you have done that? It's not life. Like, life happens. Okay. Sugar happens. But if we're hitting 80 or 90%, then we are doing so much better than we would have been doing before. Like, absolutely. And you'll start feeling it and seeing it more and more. Heidi asked that she's always followed low carb. I would say that this is not low carb, because I am looking for the sugar that is in our diet that is insidious. And some of that is in carbs, absolutely. And some of it is in places that we don't realize. And when we're having our snacks, what snacks we're having, like all of these things, it's surprising what actually comes up. And Heidi, you're going to hear, I am not a low carb person. I followed, like, a friend of mine who's a dietitian asked me if I would follow her program for a month, because she wanted to just test it on some people. And there was no sugar, there were no carbs, there was no tofu. Basically it was keto. Like, that bottom line, it was really a keto program. And I couldn't, well, I did it, but like, I was starving by the end of that thing, because I do eat carbs. It's something I've noticed as a vegetarian, I'm going to eat some carbs. But at the same time, it's the kind of carbs you eat that matter. So, and we'll talk about that too. But if you're on low carb, then I would say that you're already halfway to sugar-free. It's wild ass guess there. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? So tomorrow, whoever's watching right now, go ahead and let me know. Are you going to be able to be on tomorrow during the day at 11:30 Central, or are you going to be on in the evening, or you just can't get enough of me? You're going to be on for both. Anyone want to tell me? Because I can see there are some people on Facebook right now. And so, yeah, Tina, you have a question? Or are you just going to be there? You're going to be there? Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. Heidi, you're going to be at work, so it's going to be in the evening. Thank you. Evening, Elaine, thank you. Terry, you can't be on at 11:30 either, so you can be on at 6, hopefully. So, okay, this is really good because both of the people that have worked for me for a very, very long time are overseas. They're in Europe. And so last time I did this, I did it at 11 a.m. my time so that it was easy for them to help me. And I thought, okay, you know what? This time I'm just going to wing it at 6 p.m. So I might ask some of y'all to help me at 6 p.m. I'm so glad I'm doing it because I'm glad that, 6 p.m. is great for me. And I see Barbara says that she's going to be here at 6 p.m. And Rochelle, hey, she's going to be here too. And so 6 p.m., I'm all over it. Okay. Anything else from y'all? I will save everything that we do. Everything we do gets saved here in the Facebook group. Starting tomorrow evening, there will also be an all access page where we save all the videos and post them on the website. And the website's not working right now, but I swear by tomorrow we're going to have a website working. But if nothing else, they'll all be saved here, but we'll have an all access page for you. And then Terry, you can do it at 6 p.m. too. So I have a question since I'm just here talking to y'all and I won't shush up. Has everyone gotten their workbook or their guidebook? You should have gotten a download section, a download link in the welcome email. So if you haven't, I will go back in this evening and put the link in here in our Facebook or in this live that we just did. So you've got it. Oh, good, Elaine, you got it. Okay. Yeah, because I just want to make sure everyone has something to follow along. Rochelle, just so you know, it's a little bit more extensive than the last one. So you might find some new things in there. And all right. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for joining me this evening, taking your Sunday night out for this. I will see you. It looks like most of y'all, I'll see you tomorrow evening. Okay, Terry's got hers too. Awesome. I'll see you tomorrow evening. And for the rest of you, whoever can make it during the day, I'll see you then. And thank you. I mean, we're gonna have fun. I promise to make this fun, and I promise to make it easy. Okay. And and Elaine, thank you for being here and thank you for saying that. Thanks. Hugs to all of you. I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Night now.